Hello, friends, and welcome to Story Time. Today, we're going to be reading the book, Pete the Cat and His 4 Groovy Buttons, or Pete el Gato and His 4 Groovy Buttons. So we're going to read it in Spanish and in English. So this book is by Eric Litwin. He's the author. He wrote the words, and it's illustrated by James Dean. And he's the illustrator. He drew the pictures. So this is the front cover, this is the back cover, and this is the spine. Oh, I see a lot of buttons over here. Pete the Cat and His 4 Groovy Buttons. This is the title page. Pete el Gato se pone su camisa favorita con sus grandes, coloridos, redondeados y hermosos botones. Le gustan tanto sus botones que canta esta canción. Pete the Cat put on his favorite shirt with 4 big, colorful, groovy buttons. He loved his buttons so much that he sang this song. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's the number 4. Pop! Oh no! Uno de los botones se desconcé y sale volando. ¿Cuántos botones le quedan? One of the buttons popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 3. Tres, because 4 minus 1 equals 3. ¿Llora Pete? Claro que no. Los botones vienen y van. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. Él continúa cantando su canción. He continued singing his song. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. Now in Spanish. 1, 2, 3. Pop! Oh no. Otro botón se desconcé y sale volando. ¿Cuántos botones le quedan? Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 2. 2. Because 3 minus 1 equals 2. ¿Llora Pete? Claro que no. Los botones vienen y van. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. Él continúa cantando su canción. He continued singing his song. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. Let's see how many are left. 1, 2. And in Spanish, 1, 2. Pop! Oh no. Otro botón se desconcé y sale volando. ¿Cuántos botones le quedan? Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 1. 1. Because 2 minus 1 equals 1. ¿Llora Pete? Claro que no. Los botones vienen y van. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. Él continúa cantando su canción. He continued singing his song. My button, my 1 groovy button. My button, my 1 groovy button. Pop! Oh no. El último botón se desconcé y sale volando. ¿Cuántos botones le quedan? The last button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 0. 0. Because 1 minus 1 equals 0. ¿Llora Pete? Claro que no. Los botones vienen y van. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. Pete observa su camisa sin botones. ¿Y qué crees que ve? Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt, and what do you think he saw? Su ombligo! His belly button! And he kept singing his song. Así que continúa cantando su canción. My button, still have my belly button. My button, still have my belly button. Y con esta historia quiero decirles que algunas cosas se irán y otros vendrán. Pero nosotros, ¿lloramos? ¡Claro que no! Continuamos cantando, siempre. I guess it simply goes to show that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Goodness no. We keep on singing. Los botones vienen y van. Buttons come and buttons go. And that is the end of the story, Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons. Bye, friends, and we'll see you next time.